they don't necessarily love. Like they like it, but it pays the bills, but they're not like living out their own dream. They're working towards someone else's dream and just punching the clock. So I want to help those people figure out how to monetize their interests, because I just firmly believe that right now it's easier than ever to make money doing the thing that you love. Like turning your interest into income is so possible with content and like products online. And there's no reason not to. The only reason not to is if you think you can't do it. So I want to try to inspire people to take the leap and show them like how you do this stuff.
Interest into income. That's a good 3-word interest into income. 3 eyes.
Yeah, I was thinking passion to profit. I like interest to income better.
Yeah. There's something from David Perell. I need to find the podcast where he talked about this, but it's have like 3-word action statements. It was like have 3 principles or action statements, and then all 3 are 3 words. And it's like something about your brain resonates with those, because I think it's a podcast with Danny Miranda. And yeah, it's Danny Miranda, most recent one, David Perell. And he also talks about how like the greatest founders are just sloganeers. So it's like they're actually saying the same thing over and over and over again, but in different ways. And it's because they're working on the process of filtering out like what's the best way to say something and get their point across. But also in saying it different ways, it's like seeps in and absorbs into the team because they've said it so many different ways where it's going to connect. But really, they're also getting these practice reps. So it's like you have all these, and then it's like interest into income. And it's like, boom, maybe that hits like 60% of the audience that you're trying to impact.
For sure. Dude, I have to check that out because both of those points I'm curious about.
Yeah, like, I'll send you that.
Nice. Yeah, I'll check it out. What do you think about the number 3? I've talked to people about this. There's something about the number 3, like the rule of 3 you hear, but the 3 by 3, what you just said, the ideas, like why is the number 3 so important to us? Like, why does that feel right?
Damn. I've never really thought of that, and you just made me think of like a ton of things, like YouTube titles or the titles of podcast episodes. They're so much better. I like 3 word. It's like 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, or just simply like Dr. Michael Brown. He is like a executive coach or like leadership coach, and I attended one of his retreats, and he actually has a podcast called the 3-Word Podcast. So it's like the title of everything. It's like concise, but it can also give you like direction. Like on a mission. There's so much in that. Like going back to the thing I kind of went on a rant at the beginning, like on a mission. You're like, oh my God. There's so much depth in that compared to like a mission. Like, yeah, I don't know. 3s. That's where else would that? Where else do you notice that?
I mean, like the thing that comes to mind for me is like the Holy Trinity. Not to get like religious, but like there's 3s that pop up all the time, and I like it's one of those things. Once you see it, you can't unsee it, and you like now that we talk about it, I'm sure you'll be going about life and like, oh, that's a 3. You know.
Oh, thanks for helping me level up, dude.
Yeah, no problem. But yeah, there's something to that, man. I don't know.
But one thing you actually just made me think about too. Not sorry to interrupt this, but it reminds me of the 2 trains theory that I brought up to you, and then I actively on this podcast right now realized I forgot to send you that video. So I promise, Danny Miranda and the 2 trains theory is coming up. But it's almost like it's the 3 trains because it's damn. You just connected the dots on this. But so like the 2 trains theory is like the 1 train is your 9 to 5 job or like your current career. and then it's by Neil Strauss. And then it's like you've built up, like doing a job for 10 years, you built up a lot of momentum, whether that's like competency or financial or whatever. And then your side hustle is, his example was like what I told you on the phone. Just for people listening, it'd be like if you worked at a bank and you want to open up like a yoga studio. It's like instead of quitting the bank job that's stable and you're proficient at, to open the yoga studio where you don't maybe have that much experience, and then you kind of bomb out, and then you got to go back to the bank and ask for maybe a lower paying job to get back in. It's like you work at the yoga studio and you get that train to build momentum. But in regards to threes, it's like also the train of like, who do you want to be and who do you want to become? So it's like, I don't know. You just made me think about that. It's like you want that train to have a ton of momentum. Like, am I becoming the person I want to be? Do I have this job that is driving maybe like financial stability or taking care of Maslow's hierarchy? And then you have the side hustle train that you're trying to get ripping. And then it's easier to jump from like, or maybe they all mesh into one, but I don't know. Maybe that was a reach, but you just made me think about that.
Yeah, no, I think that's not a reach. I think that's valid. Like and I think they do all combine into one. And that's what makes them. I think that's maybe what makes it feel right. Like all three words or all three things of it are related in a way that makes sense as one. Maybe, I don't know. There's something to that. I don't know what it is, but there's something.